Okay, see, look at here. So just last class as a revision. So then in the revision part, I given small introduction to DNS, but you have to separate the DNS, right? So again, just listen carefully. What is DNS? DNS means domain name system, not server guys, domain name system. Okay. So when you are try to communicate to any domain with a name or a host in the domain or a FQD. Okay. So when you are trying to communicate with that one, so we cannot communicate because all communications by IP address, all communications by IP address. So we cannot remember the IP addresses always. So obviously what we do, we'll create a, so we'll contact a DNS server to get the IP address of particular domain name. Okay. So how we are doing, how you contact, we don't know. So we exactly say we are not directly contact anyone. Okay. But you can look at how to check the IP address part kind of stuff. Anything is there. This one, Apipa part. So whatever it is, if this one or this one, you can see there is a preferred DNS server or alternate DNS server. Can you see the first three parts? IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. But the second part is about a DNS server address. In a statically, you can tell where is your DNS server, and you'll get a automatically get about where is your DNS server. For example, I'm trying to find who is my DNS server, but very simply I'm going ipconfig space slash all. So then I'm getting my physical address and IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and I got an IP address from DHCP server, so that's DHCP enabled. Yes. So then automatically leased obtain and lease expiry also showing here. Okay, so it is a 2 days, in almost like a not even a 2 days, means 11th September I got it, means today I got it. Today is 11th, right? 12th. Oh, 11th September I got this IP address, and it will be expired by 30th. So like a 2 days time. It's you have to calculate in hours. 2 days means 18. It is less than 18. Means not 2 days. It is around 40 hours. Default gateway and DHCP server address, and here it is my DNS server. So my packet first contact, because I put a name, so I don't know the DHCP server. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the DNS server, right? So then I find a DNS server. See, it is in my DNS server. Now what I know, I don't know about I don't know the IP address of google.com. So I will try to reach the DNS server with this IP address and ask, I want a IP address of google.com. So my DNS server returns an IP address of google.com IP address. It's not google.com guys, it is a www.google.com. Why I told like that, we'll see it is. It is also a google.com, okay? But it is a meet.google.com. Different service, different host. Meet.google.com. This is also google.com, but title is different. See, youtube.com, studio.youtube.com, but this is just www. This is also google.com, but DOCS. It's a different host. Okay, so this is the actually a name. Okay, where I have here it is, right? So for whatever it is, it's a www.google.com or docs.google.com or a mail.google.com. If I open my Gmail account, so then it shows. If you open any of this the related services, so then also it will show. It is taking a lot of time. Yes, it is mail dot. Before that one, google.com. Okay. Okay. So then here it is google.com, but mail.google.com. Okay. So the point is, um, whatever it is your contact, mail.google.com, meet.google.com, devocs.google.com, www.google.com. Whatever it is, you don't have that host IP address. So we'll get the IP address of that particular host from the DNS server. By telling it is very one single line. Okay, but there is a big story is there. We will go to that story, but first of all, understand again what is a DNS. Like it is like a mobile phone contact list. Like the example, you cannot remember all the phone numbers. So what we will do, it will create a contact list in your mobile phone. So when I'm trying to call to my father, mother, or maybe some person, so I cannot, I no need to remember all the phone numbers. So what I have to do, it I create a contact list, number in the contact list, open the contact list, just dial to them. Then actually call goes with the person's phone number only, the registered phone number which is in my system, my mobile phone, right? It is also similar to, it is also a best example for understanding of um, DNS. Here it is. Say I'm trying to communicate to www.google.com. First of all, I got an IP address. Then I'm trying to communicate with the IP address only. So here it is. DNS is not like that simple. It is a big hierarchical part. In a DNS, we have a root domain. There is a 13, totally 13 root domains are there, which is maintained by Ayana ICANN. Ayana ICANN maintaining these root domains. What is this root domain? Contains information of top level domain. For example, you want to buy a domain, like you want to register your URL or domain.com kind of stuff. So like w3schools.com or maybe latiftech.com, something you want to build. For example, I want to create like I want to register my domain name. So I will contact the different organizations like GoDaddy.com, okay, top level registry, domain registry, okay, or maybe I will try to contact a big rocks, hostinger, Google.com. Free also available. Okay, so registry.gov.in. So guys, when you are checking this one, be careful whether it is genuine or not. Yeah, this is the top level domain registry, but why it is not showing anything? It's a Wikipedia article. Okay, so what sir it is? So for example, I want to register a domain. So in a domain tailing, we have a few things, right? .com, .net, .org, .in, dot kind of stuff. So earlier days, very limited dot kind of stuff. Like for example, I want to put a Latif Tech. So I'm trying to search. So is any website is available with this name? See, latiftech.com. For first year, it is only for 499 for this for the first year. Per month or per year we didn't given. For first year is given. And most valued this mat, but I don't know why it is most valued. Okay, very less people are getting this much, very straight small. I mean that's it is worth. Free website builder included. Create and publish your website for a free. Add paid service features like online store when you are ready. Free, privacy protected forever. Protect your contact information fraud and prevents email spam. Okay, so tech is a widely used. That's why it is given like that. You can use different things. That is a .com, .in, .ch. So .in is a 149 rupees for a first year with a 2 years registration. You register for a 2 years. The first year is only 149. But second year cost will be added, no extra. CH same price next year. So always same price it will maintain. .com cities, that's the .com we are already for first year. Second year, from next year onwards you have to pay 1200, means 1 rupee less 1200. .co .in, it's a very less price, 99 rupees for first year. .com, .co, .com, .xyz, .net, technologies.com, .org. Okay, it is showing only few and more frequently used. But if you go to different domain registrations, this is a GoDaddy, right? So this is a big rocks, google.com. So many are there. Cheap namecheap.com it is. You go namecheap.com, so then you will get a cheaper .coms also available. I have my own like a third party cheap.coms kind of stuff I tried earlier. So it is .net, .com, .org, and information. These are a servers, guys. .net is a one server. .com is a server. .org is a server. But where is these servers are located? So when you ask a question, where is this particular person, or where is Taj Mahal, where is Charminar, where is High Tech City, where is Bombay, what is that meaning is you are asking an address, right? So it is here, it is address means IP address. Root domains, I said there is a 13 root domains are there. Each root domain name is like a B, C, D, like that. 13 root domains are there. So that in each root domain has information about a .NET servers. Where is the .NET servers? Their IP addresses, dot com servers, the dot com server IP address, dot org servers IP addresses, dot in server IP addresses, okay, dot co dot in server IP addresses, like a xyz services, dot xyz server IP address, dot online. Now certain sites are coming, right? Dot online, dot store, dot online, dot store, dot gov, dot in. Okay, so these servers IP addresses store in a root.com. Second one is secondary level domain. So already I told google.com, www.google.com, docs.google.com. Okay, so these are the secondary domains. It is showing in dollars. Free business name search LLC or corp that make easily wasted. Okay, so this google.com, facebook.com, w3schools.com, okay, youtube.com, godaddy.com, these are all secondary level domains. The secondary level domains information stores their respect to top level domains. For example, .net server is there, or a .com server is there, or .org server is there. For example, this is a contaso.com. Contaso is a secondary level domain, and that contains some IP address or information stored in a .com server. Contaso.com, google.com, facebook.com, Okay, so .com server contains the IP address of the contest.com, microsoft.com, google.com, facebook.com, w3schools.com, like that. .in server, google.in, google.co.in, latiftech.in. Okay, like all .in kind of stuff. Okay, .org. Okay, Google org is also there. Okay. Different servers, what are there as top level domain. So top level domain stores their domain informations, like I already said, contest.com, microsoft.com, facebook.com information store in a .com server. Next, this is just a secondary level domain. Under secondary level domain, there can be a sub level domain or maybe a host. Maybe a host. For example, here it is. You can see this is a devos.google.com. So, for example, so devos is a host. So, I will ask google.com DNS server. I want a devos.google.com IP address. Okay. So, I will ask google.com. I want a IP address of devos.google.com. Then I will get a IP address of devos.google.com. So in this picture, it is showing server 1 dot sales dot south dot contaso.com. So the root domain contains information about top level domains related servers IP addresses, and once you got it, then we'll find where is the .com server, and go to .com server, find where is the contesto.com. My server one is not directly under contesto.com, so then I will ask where is south. I ask a contesto.com where is south. Under south there is a sales. Under sales there is a host name called a server1.contesto.com. But it is better to keep it like this, is a contesto.com, like a server1.contesto.com. It is very easy. Okay, so otherwise simply you can go to the DNS server of contesto.com, find out the total hierarchy where is exactly the record of server 1 and what is the IP address of server 1. Then contact server 1 with the IP address. There's some names are there, guys, but you can see here it is called a forwarding, and this is full explanation. What is this forwarding, guys? The ask client want to communicate with the mail1.contesto.com. Client want to communicate mail1.contesto.com, but client don't know the IP address of mail1.contesto.com. So it is ask its local DNS server. In our place, most of the cases your Wi-Fi router is your DNS server. Just verify your default gateway, DHCP server, and DNS server is same, and you are getting an IP address from router. Okay, so meaning is your router is act like a local DNS server, and your local DNS server maximum you don't have information about all internet related. Local DNS server do not have information about internet related domains. Then what happen? Or outside of domains. So what it will do, it forward the packet. Simply say your router forward that query to the forwarder. The forwarder is maintained by ISP provider. The forwarder maintained by ISP provider. That ISP provider, so check, having this forwarder which contains the information about root domains. Information about root domains, that is called a root hints. Where is the root servers? where is the root servers. Then it will contact root server, find out .com server IP address, then find out in the .com server, it try to find contoso.com server IP address, and it is ask contoso.com server DNS server IP address of mail1.contoso.com. So contoso.com given the IP address of mail1.contoso.com to the forwarder. The forwarder give that IP address to local DNS server, local DNS server to the client. Now the client is communicated to mail1.contoso.com with IP address. This is my way of explanation, guys. This is the picture is my way of explanation. So look at here, it is in the bottom, you can see this is the my PC. Yeah, where I've written my PC, I try to communicate devocs.microsoft.com. So I don't have an IP address. So obviously my PC will search in my cache, browser history, or maybe it is manual records in a slash etc slash host, or a C Windows System 32 drivers etc host file may contains a static entries. It is also such there. Of course, it will send a request to your local DNS server. In my case, my router is my local DNS server based on the IP address. So it is default gateway DNS server DHCP. This is same means this is also your router. So this is my router IP address, which is DNS server IP address is also same. So means request go to DNS server means local DNS server. That is the route. I am asking, I want a devocs.microsoft.com IP address. Your local DNS server forward that packet to the IP ISP, so which contains a forwarder. Forwarder having information. Forwarder is a server which is having an information about a root in servers. Means where is this dot servers are there, which is a content of top level domain servers IP address, like a .com server IP address, .net server IP address, .org server IP addresses. So I want a .com server IP address. Ask a root key in server. I want a .com server IP address. I got it. Now I contact a .com server. Ask for a Microsoft.com IP address. Now the forward got an IP address of Microsoft.com. Then it contact a Microsoft.com DNS server and asking, I want a devocs.microsoft.com. And forwarder finally got a IP address of devocs.microsoft.com. It is given to the local DNS server. So local DNS server give it to my computer, then I can able to communicate to the devocs.microsoft.com with an IP address. Okay, this is the hierarchical part in the internet. In the internet, so this is the way the DNS is works. Guys, again, I'm going to back to the DNS. Very important thing is, sorry. So there is a sentences are there now. Look at here, guys. Then I will go to repetition. NetBIOS means computer name to IPv4 address. NetBIOS meaning is you have your computer name and there is a mapping between your computer name to IPv4 address called a computer NetBIOS. There is a domain NetBIOS is also there. Domain NetBIOS means if you take that example like a contoso.com, the contoso is a domain NetBIOS. Contoso.com is a domain name. LLMNR. LLMNR is also similar to NetBIOS, computer name to IPv6 address. Okay, so if you are having IPv4 and your IPv4 address is mapped to a computer name, your computer name means it is a NetBIOS type kind. Okay, Win server, Windows Internet Naming Service is like a DNS server only, but it is only works with the Windows systems. And Wins don't support IPv6 and FQDN type of communications. It's only support, and NetBIOS means just a name and IPv4 addresses only. FQDN, fully qualified domain name. What is FQDN? Fully qualified domain name is a combination of your host name and domain name. Very simple way to tell that one. FQDN is a server one dot contoso.com. The server one is a host name and domain dot contoso.com is a domain name. Okay. So now we'll see, guys. Compulsory remember these things. Okay. What is a DNS? DNS is a domain name system. Port number 53. It maps name to IP address. And there is a name, either it is a domain name, FQDN, to the IP address. For DNS, there is a lot of things are there, guys. DNS records are there. Okay. Primary, secondary DNS. Okay. Primary, secondary stop zones, active directory integrated. That is mainly for server side people, but at least understand what is DNS. Okay. DNS server example for a regular use is a mobile phone contact list. Okay, so you whenever you try to communicate, either using ping command or maybe through web browser or maybe through Outlook application. So whenever you try to communicate to a host or a device with a name, okay, and you don't know the IP address of the device or a host or a domain, will contact DNS server. Okay, so DNS server, you PC send a request to DNS server, ask IP address of google.com, then DNS server returns an IP address of google.com. See, this is the line, guys. I'm bolding these lines so then you can try to understand these lines. Or PC send a request to DNS server and ask IP address of google.com, www.google.com. So DNS server returns an IP address of google.com. So these points, at least in this page, these points at least try to remember. So what is the DNS? Domain name system, port number 53, and other things also. Okay, maps IP address to name to IP address. It provide a IP address to the clients based on their DNS request. So one guy asked me based on that statement, sir, DHCP also giving an IP address, DNS also giving IP address. Guys, not giving. Okay, not giving. DHCP server configures IP address of a PC, client PC. Means client PC don't have an IP address to communicate with anybody. So DHCP server will give an IP address to the PC. Okay. DNS don't assign an IP address. DNS server, you want an IP address of particular host or particular PC with a name. So DNS server will search in their database and try to give the IP address. Okay. So that's the difference. Yeah. So it's already 4.